Okay, is this thing running? It looks like it is. Hello, everybody. I just wanted to start off by expressing my appreciation for everyone who's been getting in the comments on my previous video and just asking for an update. As promised, a little later than I would have liked, we're just going to go over the updates that happened to the Mercs Chaos campaign rules, thanks to Hotspots Hinterlands dropping. Mostly, we're dealing with some just cost changes. Things have definitely gotten more expensive in regards to repairs and purchasing/selling mechs. Um, I am going to touch on one quick piece of errata that happened that's already out for the Hinterlands book, as well as one big change that happened when it comes to negotiating contracts and things like that. In the pipeline, I'm planning on making a video that goes over the entire contract negotiation process, building the force, stuff like that. But that'll all come in due time. Anyways, just so you're not stuck staring at my screen here, we're going to go ahead and pull up my work company, the Cormadir Corsairs. Now, what I'm doing is this is now a second copy of this contract that we're running, and I'm just going to be basically redoing the math under new circumstances using the Hinterlands math, just so everyone can follow along here, and it's all straightforward. So, in this case, we did have a change in that the track 1 meeting engagement that we fought, I had ended up winning on this one. Now, if we this is where we need to talk on one of the rules changes that happened with Hinterlands. Excuse the sniffles. Post holiday, everyone's getting a little sick. So in our meeting engagement, previously in the Mercs box, your combat bonus scaled based on your base pay, and I don't just mean like off the base pay itself, but off the percentage of your base pay. So in this case, this contract has 120% base pay, which would be 600 normally for the monthly maintenance. But the way that combat bonuses work now is they are based strictly off of the flat amount that your scale is valued at. What I mean by that is at scale 1, which is what we are playing at here right now, your base pay is, your unmodified base pay, we'll call it, is 500 SP a month. So your combat pay, assuming you made 100%, would be 500. It would not be, in this case, 120% and get me 600. Now, that being said, we did win this under the circumstances. We did win this where I completed my objective and my opponent did not complete any objectives, so I'm actually going to get 150% payout. So that means instead of getting 500, I will get 750, because that is still how, or actually we won't put it in the cost. We'll put it in the, we will go ahead and put it in the cover, I guess. We didn't pay anything to get paid. So that's going to put us up to 3,700, I believe. Yep, I think math still maths, yeah. And we're going to go up a reputation because we won this track. Now, I'll fill in the months later. I think it's exactly what I said last time when we were doing this anyways. Now, this is where we need to get into the cost changes associated with Hinterlands. So, what I'm going to do here quick before we go over my mechs is I'm just going to show you all the specific section out of the Hinterlands book with the cost chart in it, so you can see what I'm referencing here. So we're going to pull this other window over. And so you're going to notice costs for the most part have gone up. What I mean by that is, so you pay half of the tonnage if you only have armor damage, which I believe is how it was before. It may have been flat tonnage. Now, if you have taken any internal structure damage or internal crits from something like attack or through armor critical, for those who don't know what attack means, then we are taking our tonnage, multiplying it by 2. That, I think, falls in line with the Mercs box. Here's where things get crazy. So, if a mech is crippled, so that just means if it falls under any of the circumstances that under forced withdrawal that label a mech as crippled, you have to pay your tonnage times 3 to completely repair that mech. And if a mech is destroyed, now what this means is there's a difference between destroyed and truly destroyed. I don't know if I really touched on this in my previous video. A truly destroyed mech is where the center torso internal structure is completely zeroed out. There is no saving that. That is gone. It is on the scrap heap. There is nothing you can do about that. What this is referring to is when a mech, so as an example, let's say you have a standard fusion engine, and they crit out all 3 pieces of your engine in your center torso. You are quote unquote destroyed, but you are not unrepairable, because you can always just take the engine out and put a new one in. Another example of this would be if you have an XL engine or Innersphere XL engine and you blow out your side torso, lose 3 engines, mech falls on the ground dead. You can repair it. Problem is, it's 5 times the tonnage to repair it. So as an example, in my previous video, we had a Centurion who had an ammo explosion that destroyed their XL engine in the side torso. I think the final repairs end up being somewhere in the 220 SP range. This would mean I would be paying 250 SP just to get the mech up and running. Now, this is one I think was in the previous spreadsheet, but I think it was buried down below. So now that, since Hinterlands is written in the Ill Clan era, it's assumed Omni-Mechs are running around. You can reconfigure your Omni-Mech to any other configuration. You just have to pay SP, basically take your tonnage, divide it by 4, and you pay that much SP to change out your Omnipods. Now, purchasing mechs, we're not going to get too deep into this. I'll go into this in another video, but now, instead of being based on tonnage, the value of mechs is based on battle value, or if you're playing an Alpha Strike, point value. So, for those of you who are trying to abuse the system and just running the super efficient mechs that were definitely more BV than their tonnage really would pertain to, the party's over. Ammo remain the same. Mech warrior price, I believe, remain the same. Heals remain the same. In regards to, I did mention that there is an important piece of errata that's already out for the book, and it is in regards to these costs down here. So someone made a whoopsie, and they accidentally flipped the gunnery and the piloting costs. So, and I have it pulled up right here. If you literally just search Hotspots Hinterlands errata, this should be the top hit, and you're going to see SP, here it is. Under unit training activities, reverse all gunnery and piloting costs. So, reverse. Cool. Just want to make sure that's clear. Anyway, for those of you who have the book, reference this in your own time. I just wanted to show everyone what we're dealing with here. I'm now going to pull this back over to my other screen, and we're going to go over the process of repairing our mechs. So, we were fighting a king crab and a crab. Things went fairly well for me. Unfortunately, the king crab landed 2 AC-20 shots on my catapult's right leg, which is not fun. Fun fact, though, that does not classify it as crippled just because it's missing a leg. So, that means otherwise we just had armor damage. So really what we're doing is we're dealing with internal structure damage. Catapult repair, we're just going to do this all in one payment. So in this case, where are you? So in this case, we have, that would be tonnage times 2. Catapult is a 65-ton mech. That means we would be doing 130 would be our SP cost. Now we're just going to double check our contract to make sure we don't have any support value. We do not, so we don't have subsidized repairs in any way, shape, or form. So the cost for this would be, I literally said it, 130 SP. We have no coverage, so we're going to pay 130. That's going to bring us down to 35, math is hard, 3570. Yeah, 600, another 30, yeah, makes sense. Cool. Now, I do not believe, yeah, our pilot was not injured. They passed their seatbelt check when they fell over, which was a miracle. So we are done. I don't have any ammo to refill on here, so we are up and running. Now, on the 9 Delta, this Centurion fared a lot better than it did last time, but they did get internal on it, which means basically same cost. So we're just going to take our tonnage, multiply it by 2, and that's what we're dealing with. So, Centurion repair, 50-ton mech, multiplied by 2, that's 100. No extra coverage, 100, 3470. Now, we can go ahead and we want to check for ammo. It looks like I used 3 shots out of an LB bin. Fletch Sheets doesn't let us change the LB bin type, so I believe that I fired off 3 solid shots, basically. And then I fired 1 round of LRMs. I do not see the need to rearm at this time. So if I wanted to, I would be paying 10 SP for each ammo bin I want to refill, but I'm perfectly happy only having 7 shots of solid and being down 1 round of ammo on my LRM. So we're not going to do anything on refits or anything like that. And did my Centurion have any pilot wounds? It does not appear that he did. I didn't update the gunnery and piloting, but they were both 3.5s. Anyway, so repairs fairly straightforward this time around, as opposed to last time where we were healing mech warriors and all sorts of other stuff. Now, that's the basic gist of it. The most important thing is just to remember that the cost changed. I did have a big disclaimer in my previous video talking about how these costs were incorrect because we were playing off of the Mercs campaign in the box. These costs now reflect the Hinterlands values. So you'll notice the destroyed tonnage times 5, crippled tonnage times 3, times 2, 1/2, all that fun stuff. So, yeah, that's the long and short of it. The one heads up for anyone who is purchasing Hinterlands but doesn't have the Mercs core box, the Hinterlands book does not cover the rules for using BSP assets. So if you're looking forward to using the BSP assets, you're still gonna need to, or you're still gonna want to pick up the Mercenaries box set, just because that, as of right now, my understanding, and I've seen other demo agents discussing this as well, that is the only way you're gonna find the rules for the current rules for the BSP assets. Other than that, like I said, this is just a short little update video, addendum, I guess you could say, on the previous video. I'm planning on recording a more in-depth video going over, we can go over contact generation, but for now I want to focus on the player aspects. So we're going to go over how to negotiate a contract and also how you form a force based on the Hinterlands book itself. Anyways, thank you so much for all your time. Thank you for your patience. I'm not really much of a content creator, so my video output isn't exactly ideal. I apologize. I do greatly appreciate your comments, though. It makes me feel good to know that now that I'm actually helping people out with engaging with this incredible system that I just continue to see more and more interest in growing, which is incredible. Anyway, I'm going to sign off there. So wherever you are around the world, I hope you have a great evening, morning, or afternoon. Bye-bye.